Right, that's it. So we should be live now. First of all, if you've tuned in for today's little discussion, welcome. Today, me and Josh are going to be discussing the Deathwatch rules. So I myself, if you don't know who I am, my name's Harry, and today I've got with me Josh.
Hi guys.
So yeah, we're going to be discussing the Deathwatch rules. Today, me and Josh are going to be discussing the Deathwatch rules. So
I'm guessing that's a YouTube feed.
yeah. I don't know, someone else might have to go into the YouTube feed so there's no feedback. But yeah, so I've got hold of last week's White Dwarf. This is it. It's got the Deathwatch rules in, not the Genestealer rules. However, if you've been paying attention online, they have been leaked online, so we are going to be going over them. I've been discussing a few of these with Dave Hansel, and I actually, so shout out to Dave. But as me and Josh have just discovered, these are a little bit restrictive. So we'll start with the way that it's worded, and this is where it gets complicated, I think, for using the entire detachment. Would you agree, Josh?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's actually very little you can do with the entire detachment unless you want to take the formation, which means you can't deploy them, you can't move them properly, you can't do anything with them, really.
Yeah. So it says Deathwatch and allies. All units in Kill Team Cassius have the Deathwatch faction. The Deathwatch are part of armies of the Imperium and ally as such as described in the ally section of the 140,000 rules. So not a problem. Armies of the Imperium normally work together quite well. So we'll start by going to the front of the rules, and there's actually two HQ selections. You've got Cassius is your first choice. I'm sure everybody's seen the pictures. I think before we go over the rules of each person, we'll probably have a look at like the force organization maybe. So we've got Orton Cassius as one of the HQ selections. We've then got Genestealer. He's the Blood Raven, I believe. Librarian, again a second HQ choice. So all's well so far. The problem starts when you get the troops choice. Squad Donatus is the troops choice, which consists of 5 of them for the troops choice, which is fine. And running an allied detachment is fine. You can pick one HQ and so forth, because you only need the one troop choice. But that's the problem. There's only the one troop choice, which means you can't run both the librarian and the chaplain. What do you think about that, Josh?
I think that it's going to be an issue for someone who wants to run an entirely Deathwatch army for fluff reasons, if it's, you know, Inquisitor and Deathwatch, which likely go quite well, or Grey Knights to a certain extent if you have the Inquisition forces working together, or even someone who just wants some cheap assistance for an Imperial Knight army, because you're going to end up with all these options you have to cut down, which means they're not going to work very well together.
No, totally agree. And obviously moving on, the Allied Force Org chart only lets you take one elite, fast and heavy support, which, you know, normally wouldn't be a problem. However, we've got the Raven Guard, the Blood Angel, and we've got the Salamander, which are all elite choices. Technically, you can only take one because you can only generate an allied detachment, not a full Force Org. So straight away, you're going to have to lose one HQ and 2 of the elites, which, let's face it, isn't great.
It does make your options quite easy, though, because, I mean, you've got something depending on your build. If you want to, if you have a deep strike heavy army, you take that Salamander. You have a fast army, you take the White Scar. So
well,
he's fast attack, isn't
the White Scar is actually a fast attack choice, so he could go in regardless. But then obviously you've got the choice of the Raven Guard, the Blood Angel, or the Salamander. But I'm looking here. We'll go over the rules for each one specific. You've got the Raven Guard with Twin Lightning Claws, and then you've got a Blood Angel with a Hand Flamer for the same points. Why on earth would you not take the Raven Guard?
Because the Blood Angel guy comes with +1 initiative, +1 strength, more attacks. Possibly something else as well.
It doesn't get the +1 initiative. The +1 initiative is only for the Blood Angel Force Org, not the standard rule.
No, I thought it was initiative 5.
No, he's initiative 4 standard.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll have a look at each of the models' rules in a few minutes. But yeah, I mean, straight away, you know, if you're running an allied detachment there, you know, you're quite restricted as to being able to only choose one of the 2 HQs. And one of the 3 elites. So that's not great. But then, of course, you've got the Kill Team Cassius, which is essentially all of them. Do they operate as a single unit?
If you take the large formation, they do operate as a single unit.
So, Kill Team. All of the units in this formation form a single unit called a Kill Team. This is a single unit for all game purposes. It must be deployed as one unit and cannot split apart during the battle, even if a model within it has the independent character special rule. So you've got to remain within that 2-inch coherency, which, when you've got a biker and 2 jump pack marines, but everybody else is foot slogging, it doesn't really make sense.
Nope, makes no sense at all.
And I think what they could have done to fix it so that you could take a CAD, essentially, is probably split the squad Donatus. That's 5 of them. Why not just make them 5 separate troop choices?
Because then you would have Imperial armies consisting of a librarian, 2 bare-ass tactical marines. Fancy tactical marines I'll give you, but still 2 bare-ass tactical marines.
It would be
and then a Warlord Titan.
True. I mean, a CAD would come in at about, what, 150 points? 160 points if you took the librarian.
Well, with those 4 models, that's 3,000 points.
Well, I mean, even if you split them into 2, I think if you could have ran the CAD, it probably would have been better.
So even if you just had their own detachment, even if that formation didn't have to be one single unit, it would be fine.
I think if you could split it into 2 separate units, so you had like at least like the White Scar, the Raven Guard, and the Blood Angel running together to keep pace with each other. Even if they did that, it would be more beneficial. I mean, there is always of course, the option of going unbound, which I know some people don't object to, but personally, in the meta that me and Josh play, most people prefer to play bound. So I don't understand what they've tried to do by combining all the models together. I mean, the other problem that you've got is you can't just take them and attach them as you want, because although the 2 HQs are independent characters, the Raven Guard, the Blood Angel, the White Scar, and the Salamander aren't, so they can't actually join with the units, which, to be honest, I think is a little bit, you'd kind of be able to expect them to, because I mean, the Deathwatch, they're supposed to be not necessarily leaders, but prepared to work
the best of the best.
But exactly, prepared to work with armies of the Imperium. So, although they ally in, why can't that Blood Angel join the Squad of Death Company? Do you know what I mean?
Well, as much as I see your point, I think that would lead to a lot of problems very fast. Because you'd get things like, I don't know, the world-famous Gravsent Star suddenly also has a heavy flamer and a melter gun and a mastercrafted power fist in it. Doesn't really sound like something I'm happy about.
True. I'm just trying to get the live chat up for this video. I'm not sure. There it is, I think.
Is it? I can't see it anywhere.
Should wait. Give me 2 moments.
On the other hand, I'm just looking at the
trying to get
post. Very little.
I'll mute the video on YouTube. It should
be there, and it's not.
Give me 2 moments. No, I've got no idea how to get it on. If anybody can help me get the live chat up and knows a thing or two,
I mean, there's a generic comment box.
where's that at?
Just refresh the feed.
Is that? Can you see what people are typing in under the video?
Yeah, I've got that, and I've got the Facebook post and messages and stuff.
Oh well, if you've got the live feed and you can see that, then I'll let you.
Well, it's a comment box. I wouldn't exactly call it a live feed, but it's close.
Ah, right. No, I meant the actual live feed.
Yeah, I know what you meant. It's just not.
If anyone knows how to work that, please drop me a Facebook message. I've got my phone in front of me, and I can try and fix that as we go, because it would be interesting to actually see what people's thoughts are as we're actually talking about it as well. Anyway, let's take a step back. Let's move backwards and go through the rules for each person, or each character rather. So, HQ, we've got Orton Cassius. He is, of course, a chaplain. Weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, typical Space Marine stat line, 2 wounds.
Cassius stat line.
Yeah, 2 attacks. Independent character. He has Zealot, which all chaplains have. Bolt pistol, Crozius Arcanum, frag grenades, crack grenades, Rosarius. So, bog standard chaplain, but he's got special issue ammunition, which. Hang on, page 2.
Hellfire round, normal range, poison 2+, Kraken round, +6 inches, strength 4, AP 4, Dragonfire round, ignores cover, and then there's another one. No one ever uses it because it's that bad.
Vengeance, range 9 inches.
It gets hot one, that's right.
Strength 4, AP 3, gets hot.
Yeah.
So considering he's BS4, so that's not bad, but he's only got a bolt pistol. But the fact he has the special issue ammunition,
yeah,
you know,
I mean, for a pistol that gets hot rounds, probably the best. But as far as your actual, Stern Guard or where they're usually seen, rapid fire poison 2+ is usually better than pretty much anything else.
Yeah, definitely. So for 95 points, I think a chaplain's normally 90, is it?
Normal chaplain's 90 base, yeah.
How much is Cassius normally? Have you got your codex there? Should I get mine?
My codex is out of date.
2 minutes. So that's my cabinet.
I mean, I have one. I wouldn't call it a legitimate copy.
Right, Cassius. Where's he at?
Ultramarine section, probably.
I think you've actually used this book more than what I have. He's 130.
130?
That's why he's taken a 6 because...
Oh, yeah, the cyber enhancements.
Exactly, because this is set before he was wounded, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is probably how he got wounded, to be completely honest.
And he has a combi flamer and feel no pain. You know, with his new stuff, and preferred enemy Tyranids. So, to be honest, let's have a look. Where's the normal chaplain? So many characters in the Blood Angel. In the...
Yes, these are Blood Angels, I swear.
Chaplain, 90 points. So yeah, basically he gains the special issue ammunition.
4 or 5 points.
Which, to be honest, isn't bad, really.
Well, I think a captain can, he certainly could buy Hellfire rounds for 10 points. So, I mean, if you're getting the other 3 and it's half price, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Dave Hansel's just inboxed us there. Chaplain is around the same points as a normal chaplain. Take him if you care about Hellfire. So, yeah, it's all right. I think for 5 points, the fact he's got the special issue ammunition, to be honest, is worth 5 points because then you've got more options there as well.
Yeah, but that one's Chapter Tactics Ultramarines fixed, isn't it? Because he's still Cassius.
I think it's just Chapter Tactics.
Well, as far as I was aware, all of the models.
Yes, he is. He's fixed with Ultramarines. So, but I mean, he's 35 points more. He does get feel no pain. He's toughness 6, which means unless you're getting force on him, you're not insta killing him. But yeah, I think for a normal chaplain, Cassius is standard. He's not bad at all for the extra 5 points to get the to get that special issue ammunition.
Oh yeah, it's certainly worth it for 5 points.
Right. Librarian, Gensis Notarian. And he's the first, but from what I believe, he's the first Bloodraven miniature ever released by GW.
Sorry, who? I don't recognize that name.
Gensis Notarian. The
Is that
librarian.
the librarian guy?
Yeah, he's a Bloodraven, and I believe it's the first Bloodraven model ever released by GW.
First one that would be modelled as a Bloodraven, probably. I mean, actually, let me just grab the internet for an actual viewpoint of that model. I mean, as far as I was aware, Bloodravens used to be the video game ones, didn't they?
Phil's asking about thoughts on the frag cannon. On
Yeah,
whether
well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Right, no problem. So, Gensis Notarian, Mastery Level 2 Librarian, must generate his powers from Biomancy.
That's not a problem.
And he has special issue ammunition as well. So, the same as Cassius. I believe the Mastery Level 2 Librarian is 90 points anyway.
Master Level 2 Librarian is 90 points, yeah. Let me guess, 95?
Yeah, no, hang on. 25 points to upgrade to Mastery Level 2 puts him at 90 points. So, again, 5 points for the special issue ammunition. But in exchange for that, you must go on Biomancy, which I know most people tend to anyway, but you know the option's not there to change it.
Most people tend to go on Biomancy. I don't know what kind of most people you've been running into, but Biomancy is certainly not the favourite.
Well, that's probably your playstyle, though you play differently to me anyway. I would, to be honest, if Blood Angels didn't have their powers, I would always roll Mephiston on Biomancy.
Yes, but that's Mephiston. He comes stock with strength 5 with a strength 10 power.
Yeah. Dave Hansel says that there was actually a shoulder pad in an old set, but yes, he was actually the first model that was made by for Bloodravens.
Yeah, see?
Right, so we've got Squad Donatus next, 175 points, which initially seems like a lot considering you can get 10 Marines for 140 points, but they are veterans, which means you've got 2 attacks each, and you've got the leadership 9. Plus, you've then got each of their individual war gear. So, do you maybe want to keep a track of how many points it would cost to build a similar unit separately?
Yeah, sure. Let me put my calculator. If I remember where I put the damn thing.
Right. I'm not sure which ones are which without jumping back to the separate guys. Where is the veteran squad?
Let me have a look. Tactical squad. I think that one. I think those guys are the tactical squad. What's Blood Angel, Salamander, Thingy
Right.
Bob.
If we say they're a Stern Guard veteran squad, that's 110 points base for 5 guys.
Oh yeah, that puts them as veterans and having special issue ammunition, so it's a good place to start.
And the leadership 9-2 attacks. So Val Donatus has bolt gun special issue ammunition.
So he's the generic one, the Ultramarine, probably.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's him. Genestealer has a bolt gun, special issue ammunition, and 2 close combat weapons. So that must be the Space Wolf. So I think Grey Hunters, it's normally 1 point to add an extra close combat weapon.
Wouldn't know. Let's just go with base, because I mean the veterans have combat weapons anyway.
Yeah, they have 1, but I think Grey Hunters pay 1 to add an additional 1.
No
Liam,
idea.
watching, please let us know if that's the case.
Okay, so we'll get that answer in about 10 seconds to allow for the lag.
Rodriguez Griot has a Deathwatch frag cannon.
Well, it's basically there we go. There's a ping. 2 points.
2 points. Cool. A frag cannon. The only time I've ever seen a frag cannon is on the Furioso Dreadnought.
Well, that's got the same stat line, so
it has. Strength 6 Assault 2 Rendon. However, it's got solid shell shot.
Assault 3, isn't it?
Assault 2, Strength 7, AP3, Range 24.
Strength
The fact
7?
that yeah.
All right.
The fact that it's an assault weapon is insane.
So that's the Imperial Fist. So what points would you put that at?
I don't know because technically...
How many points is a frag cannon?
It's 5, but the Furioso comes stock with something else. So basically, if you work out the points for...
It'll be a Blood Fist, won't it? Or is that the DC?
I think... Give us a second as soon as I find your Blood Angel Codex. There we go. Furioso Dreadnought comes stock. Power Fist, which doesn't help.
It'll be a Power Fist and a Heavy Bolter then, surely. Or the Furioso comes stock with 2 Power Fists.
2 Power Fists, Storm Bolter and built-in Melter Gun, and you exchange. So the Power Fist and Melter Gun is exchanged for the Frag Cannon. How much is a multi-melter or something for a Dreadnought?
Vanilla Dreadnoughts come stock with a multi-melter. But I know on the Ironclad, exchanging your... exchanging up to a... So I know you get a Melter Gun stock as well. It's changing the Storm Bolter for a Heavy Flamer is 10 points.
You're looking at around... I'm probably going to guess around about 15 to 20 points because a heavy weapon multi-melter to carry is 10 points.
Yeah.
Upgrade a multi-melter to a frag cannon, you're talking about another 5.
See, I think with what they're having 2 firing modes, I would put it more in line with a Grav Cannon.
35.
I would put it closer to 35. Because, I mean, Grav Cannons will look at most things and they'll melt. Or implode.
Dave says class the gun as an auto cannon. It's the closest match, about 15 points. So I said 15. So let's leave
20 to allow a buffer.
Yeah, because obviously you would have the melter gun on there as well,
right.
From the Power Fist. So yeah, I would probably say about 20 points altogether. We've then got, the fact that you've got the solid shell. Range 24, Strength 7, AP3 on an infantry model, Assault 2.
I don't know of anything that's Strength 7, AP3, mind.
No. That's phenomenal. Of course, the special issue ammunition on all of this as well is double the range of the pistol. So obviously you've got 18-inch range on the Vengeance rounds. So if you consider, right, you've got the Vengeance rounds at range 18. So that's, how many of them got bolt guns? Only 2 of them. 3. The Space Wolf has a bolt gun, the Ultramarine, and the Iron Hand.
Iron Hand has one, yeah.
So you've got 3 shots at 18-inch range. It's Strength 4 AP3, which, 3's to hit 4's to win more stuff. The fact it's AP...
Well, actually, at 8... Well, if you go with the shortest weapon in the tactical squad, which is the Dark Angel's plasma pistol, that's 12 inches at that range. I mean, actually, because of rapid fire weapons, if you go for 9 inches on the Vengeance rounds, you've got 6 rounds, Strength 4 AP3. Gets hot. Then you've got 2 shots, Strength 7 AP3, and then 1 shot, Strength 7 AP2.
Yeah. That's going to, that's going to eat through an elite squad.
Anything that's not Necrons.
Or Terminators, because obviously there's only the plasma pistol.
All you do is just move closer and go to the frag round, get rending. Lots of hits.
That's true, but don't forget there is template.
Yeah, so auto hit.
Yeah. This squad is nasty.
Yeah. And that's just the first 3 models.
And then when you charge, you mentioned, hang on, oh yes, we were only down to the...
There's still the Iron Hand and the Dark Angel yet.
Yeah, the Iron Hand has a combi melter.
Mm-hmm.
So, even against not a particularly heavy armored tank, like a Land Raider or something, but, if you get close
I wouldn't fancy me chances if I was anything softer than a Predator, mind. 3 Strength 7 and 1 Strength 8 Armor Bane. Like Necron vehicles, I wouldn't put too close to this squad. 3
Strength 7 shots. 3 Strength 7 plus a melter gun.
Plus a crack grenade.
Exactly. So you're still going to make, like, if you come across a Vindicator or a Predator or anything, you can still get around the side and probably do a lot of damage to it.
Yeah, that's still going to hurt, yeah. But the Stern Guard combi is, I believe, 10 points. Anyone who's watching who doesn't know can correct us, but 10 points.
Plasma Pistol, I believe, is 15.
Plasma Pistol Power Sword's above 15.
Yep. How many points does that put us at?
172.
So there you go. It must be about 25 points for the frag cannon. So if you were to build...
So what's the unit, 175?
But, hang on.
That unit 175?
It is. So, I mean...
3-second combat weapon.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, you've still got to remember each of the models has their own specific things. So, Donatus has precision shots. Who's Donatus? Is he the Ultramarine?
Think so.
Let me just jump back. Yes, Donatus is the Ultramarine, so he's got precision shots for free. Because normally he wouldn't have that. Red Blade's got counterattack. Well, I believe Grey
That's the Space Wolf, so yes. Well, all Space Wolves have counterattack.
The Iron Hand has Feel No Pain 6+.
Iron Hands,
Dark Angel has Stubborn. So the Imperial
a lot of the Inner Circle stuff has Stubborn, so yeah.
The Imperial Fist guy hasn't got any special rules.
He doesn't need any with that frigging cannon he's holding.
See, don't get us wrong, the frag cannon is fantastic, right? But I would have expected, being an Imperial Fist, he probably would have had an assault heavy bolter.
Bolter drill.
Yeah, that's what I would have expected. I'm not saying the frag cannon's bad, the frag cannon is amazing. But I would have expected, maybe it's an assault heavy bolter. But to be honest, that squad, I mean, even when you charging's not particularly where they're great at. I mean, you're still going to chuck out a fair few attacks.
I mean, there is a power sword and a guy throwing lots of attacks. So
yeah, I mean, if the Space Wolf charges, he's got 4 attacks on the charge. He would still have 4, even if he is charged, because he's got counterattack. You've got at least 3 or 4 from the champion there as well.
Veterans are 2 base, pistol and sword charge.
Exactly, so still 4. To be honest, that squad, I think even if you build something similar with the Stern Guard veteran squad, I mean, you can't take, I don't think you can take the power sword, can you? Can the sergeant take it?
The sergeant can, I believe, but that'll be all.
Yeah, you can take a lightning cord. To be honest, yeah, you could build it pretty much the same, but the advantage of that is
that frag cannon.
The frag cannon for starters. Plus, you are getting a couple of other things. Like I said, Stubborn, I think, confers to the entire squad.
Stubborn is one model in the squad rule, yeah.
Yeah. Does counterattack work the same, or is it just the model?
I think that's just the model.
Let's find out. Oh. And this is the advantage of sitting on this side of my table. All right, what was a counterattack?
Yep.
Special rules. Here we go. If a unit contains at least one model with this special rule, and that unit is charged, every model with the counterattack special rule adds +1 attack until the end of the phase. So it's only the wolf that would actually get it.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not like you'd need anything else like that. I mean, you've got more than enough.
But I mean, the fact that the champion, I mean, obviously, technically they're all characters as well. So I mean, that's another bonus that that's included in the points. Normally, you'd only have the one character. So if you're charged by a unit here, if you want to keep somebody alive, rather than the Dark Angel champion having to accept the challenge, you can give up whoever's essentially least useful out of the squad. So you can have the Ultramarine step up and take the challenge and maybe sacrifice him.
Ultramarine, then
or
Iron Hand.
chuck the wet dog in front of someone.
Well, no, I think it will be a case of Ultramarine, then Wolf, then Iron Hand, then Dark Angel. Unless you happen to use the Melter on the turn you arrive, in which case it's Iron Hand first.
Yeah, because obviously if you've lost the melter, yeah, you're getting a 6-up feel no pain, but the precision shots will probably work better if you're getting more shots. So I think it's very situational. You can use, obviously, with them all being characters, you can sacrifice who you want first. So, if there's somebody going with a higher initiative, you can chuck the Ultramarine or the Iron Hand in front of them, and then at least the Dark Angel's then still going to get the swing with his Power Sword.
I'll be tempted to feed the Iron Hand to something that's supposed to hit hard, as long as it's not Strength 8 or more. Because, I mean, you yourself know how annoying that Feel No Pain can be.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, I think that squad, bearing in mind these are a troops choice as well, not elites, whereas to build a
Sternguard take an elite squad, yeah.
Exactly. So to be honest, I think this is actually quite a good unit. What's the powers on Biomancy? Because I'm wondering, who would you attach, Josh? Would you attach the Chaplain, or would you attach the Librarian?
To the tactical squad?
Yeah.
I would probably, to be honest, attach the Librarian, because...
But I've got Biomancy here in front of us. We've got Iron Arm.
Iron Arm's always good. Don't care what you are, it's always good.
Enfeeble. So if
Enfeeble is, again, quite good to lower toughness of things and then hit them with a whole bunch of Strength 4 AP 3 wounding on 3s. I mean, Smite in itself's not a bad power, Strength 4 AP 2.
Which, again, if he's in the squad, you've got something extra to take out those Terminators as well.
Yeah. And then he's also a bit better for Hordes as well, because Hemorrhage is ridiculous amounts of fun if you manage to get it off right.
Plus, if you get Endurance, Feel No Pain, and Eternal Warrior. Bearing in mind, he's also got a Power Sword.
Force Sword, but yes.
Yeah, Force Sword. Stick him in that squad. I actually think those 6 could take on, any kind of elite squad and probably come out on the better side of it.
I wouldn't say any, because things like, Lichguard, Hammonators, anything in Codex Grey Knights, any of the Tyranid critters, Wraith Knight.
They're still going to hit like a ton of bricks. Maybe it's not as big as like Mephiston and Hammonators or Sword and...
Mephiston and Hammonators cost 600 freaking points.
But to be honest, you're going to be putting that many wounds on the Hammonators anyway. You're going to at least chomp a couple of them down. But I think Biomancy on that Librarian attached to that squad could do a lot of work.
Oh, hell yes, it'll do a lot of work. I just don't think it'll do quite as much work as one of the more expensive Death Stars that we've gone over previously.
Right, Nicky Oliver, who I'm going to be playing Nurgle with, he's watching at the time. He says, good stuff, mate, but here's an app idea that lets you find rules and explanation quickly on your phone. Can see rules for all races and psychic powers, etc. It's called Rules 40K. Must be on the Google Play Store. I'll be sure to check that out, Nicky. Thank you very much for passing it on. I think me and Josh will have a look at that a bit later on.
Later?
After this.
No, I mean...
What are you doing now?
Yeah.
You can multitask, I can't. So yeah, I think Squad Donatus with Notarian, it's not a bad costed unit. It's 270 points, and you can get so much out of it. I feel. Yeah, they're not going to be able to maybe not take on like 5 Hamnators or everything Grey Knights, because at the end of the day, you're going to be cycling against each other, and Grey Knights have got side cannons and stuff like that. But there is definitely the potential to at least match them, I think.
Oh yeah, it'll hit as you said, it'll hit like a ton of bricks, and it'll get rid of anything that's not either stupidly durable, i.e. Necrons, or anything that'll swing before them at higher strength, such as Grey Knights, or the monsters. But
the only thing I would say though is watch out for AP3. because that is going to be the downfall.
Unless you get endurance. There's 4+ feel no pain. It's a pain in the ass.
But that's only on him. It's not on the squad.
Endurance.
I'm sure I've just read it.
No, endurance is the entire squad.
Oh yeah, single friendly unit. Yeah, absolutely. Then stick him with that squad. To be honest, I think when I get the game, this will be the first thing that I paint up. That librarian and them 5 guys. I think that's what I'm going to try and get painted up when I get it. And I want this in a battle report. Josh, are you game for it?
What, the Deathwatch battle report?
Yeah, Squad Donatus plus Genesis. At least if I get those painted up, are you game for playing these?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind.
Actually,
I had a bing.
What about some who would wins? Because this comes to 270 points. Can you build a Lich Guard squad in that?
For what?
270. I think Lich Guard's what, 150, 125?
270.
Yeah, 200. I mean, I'm sure
270 you have 9 guys with a sword and board.
If anyone's got any suggestions about what they would like to see Genesis Notarian Squad Donatus take on, leave it in the comments. And if we've got the models between me, Josh, and anybody else who I play regular, we'll see what we can come up against and see who can, come out on the better side of things here. I think that's quite a good idea to see what they can actually do.
Yeah. Anyway, we're being chaperoned by Phil to get a move on. So, yeah, if we move on to the Terminator and Bike and Raven Guard. And
Raven Guard's the next one, because Phil's getting impatient because he wants to hear about the Tyranid stuff. I know he does. So we've got Edric Satorax, 2 lightning claws, frag grenades, crack grenades, bulky deep strike. He's got stealth. Heroic intervention, a unit that contains any models with this rule ignores penalties for disordered charges and can re-roll 1 of both dice when determining its charge range. So that would confer to the big detachment.
That would confer to the detachment, yeah.
Furthermore, Satorax always passes the initiative test if he wishes to make a glorious intervention.
Which means he can save the arse of literally anyone. And with a jazz hands dude in power armor, that's usually a good idea.
4 attacks on the charge at AP3 shred. Plus he's got stealth, and I believe stealth confers to the entire squad.
Stealth, I think, is one that does confer to the entire squad, but again, that is the Raven Guard thing. Yes, Phil, it's Raven Guard. How many attacks does he have base?
2. He's basically a Vanguard veteran.
Because Vanguard veterans, I thought, had 3 base, but I'm probably wrong. I don't use them very often.
No, they've only got 2.
All right, fair enough. 2 base, 1 for repair, 1 for charge.
A unit that contains at least 1 model with this special rule counts as cover as being 1 point better than normal. So that confers to the entire formation. So that's actually quite handy. He also has Shrouded until the start of the 2nd game turn.
Doesn't it also confer to the unit?
That confers, and I know that does because of the Venom Throats.
And you friggin' Dark Eldar.
Dark Eldar don't have Shrouded, Josh.
No, but they confer. Stealth confers, Shrouded confers. Right, so we've been looking at an invisible formation in turn 1.
Well, 2 plus cover. If they're in ruin.
Yeah. Okay, so
he jumps in front anyway, and he can use his jump pack in both the movement and assault phase of the same turn. Furthermore, when he makes his Hammer of Wrath attacks, he can re-roll failed to wound rolls.
Strength 4 shred on 1 attack. Better than Nout, I suppose. I mean,
he's phenomenal, but he's not an independent character.
No, and I think there's a good reason for that.
So you can't just chuck him with any assault squad.
Yep. As well as him leading a squad of Jazz Hand Vanguard veterans, you've got the entire unit's got 4+ cover in the open turn 1. And then if that's Raven Guard chapter tactics where they can use the jump packs in movement and assault, it's going to be a case of deploy 12, move 12. If you fail the charge, you've got a 4+ cover save. If you make the charge, you've then got 6 strength 4 shred attacks, and then you let fly with 24 strength 4 AP 3 shred attacks. All at initiative 4. Damn, don't ever let me run into that unit, please.
Or 5 at strength 5 if he was attached to Blood Angel Vanguards.
Yes.
Speaking of Blood Angels, the Blood Angels, he's also got heroic intervention. It's not bad, but why would you chuck him in front when he's got nothing to do any damage? He's got a hand flamer and a chainsword and furious charge.
He's cheap and cheerful and hits hard on his own.
I'm ashamed to admit it, but he's probably the worst one. Unfortunately.
And if you listen carefully, you can hear Harry's pride hit the floor.
He's the same as the Raven Guard. Why the hell would you pay 35 points for a hand flamer and chainsword when you can pay 35 for dual lightning claws, stealth, and shrouded?
Not entirely sure, but based on the fact that hand flamers are pistols, that guy will always have 3 attacks at. Is he strength 5 base?
No, strength 4. Furious charge gets him 5 on the charge.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Doesn't really make that much sense, but
if you had a power sword, then fair enough. And there's no reason not to give him a power sword, bearing in mind that you get dual lightning claws from Satorax.
Yeah, what's his special rules?
Heroic intervention, which Satorax has anyway.
That's it. Okay. Shitty little blood angel.
Right. Branitar, the Terminator, 60 points.
It's good.
For a Terminator. No, it's not. 35.
35 for a Terminator, 10 for a heavy flamer, 10 for a melter gun as a special weapon.
He's got a melter gun as well.
Yeah, so you've got 35 base, 45 including the heavy flamer, 55 including the melter gun, and then it's 5 points for mastercrafting any weapon, and he has a mastercrafted power fist with a built-in melter gun,
which is also mastercrafted.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a mastercrafted weapon with an inbuilt weapon that it affects them both. Phil's asking, does the Blood Angel have Zealot?
No.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. The Blood Angel's awful.
No, he's got Furious Charge and They Shall Know No Fear, Bulky and Deep Strike. He's a normal Space Marine. He's a normal Blood Angel Salt Marine with a hand flamer. That's it. Sorry, no he's not. He's a veteran because he has 2 attacks and leadership 9.
Okay, yeah, that's bad.
But he's seriously outclassed by that Raven Guard.
Just like in usual book terms.
Yes, exactly. However,
the Raven Guard can't take a melt the pod for 105 points.
However, this Salamander, does he get shred on his heavy flamer or not?
Why would he get shred on his heavy flamer?
Because he's a Salamander.
Does he have chapter tactics salamanders?
No, with that.
No.
So, Branitar has Feel No Pain 4+ against wounds caused by flamer weapons. Furthermore, he can reroll all failed to wound and armor penetration rolls that do not result in a glancing hit when using his heavy flamer. So he has chapter tactics Salamander on that flamer, essentially, or he's got that as a separate special rule.
Fair enough.
And then obviously he's got Terminator armor, so Deep Strike, Relentless, and can't make sweeping advances. He's fearless.
How fearless?
But the Blood Angel and the Raven Guard aren't.
Well, that's what Terminators are supposed to be.
And neither are any of the others, apart from Cassius, because Cassius has Zealot.
Yeah, well, Zealot's not fearless. Bear that in mind. It just has the same effects.
Yeah.
So hang on, why on earth have they got Stubborn? For the massive formation, the stubborn and the fearless.
Stubborn is...
I know it's all tests, so it'll be including pinning and stuff like that.
But fearless overrules that anyway, doesn't it?
Does it?
Either way, stubborn and fearless. Negative leadership modifiers, such as my leadership bombs I run with Dark Ally, don't actually work against stubborn.
Yeah, I know. It's a leadership modifier. It's not a test.
Exactly. So that's still handy to bear in mind. So although there may always be leadership, I'm going to guess
9
10 in combat.
10 in the big formation, 9 if anything else.
Yeah, so obviously they're still going to have stubborn in there as well. Right, so we've got Jetek Subare.
That's so Japanese, it must be the way it's got. I'm not
Twilling
racist as well.
He's got a power sword, which is handy, because how many points is a biker? 21?
21, yeah.
Plus 15 for the power sword will put him at 36. But he's a veteran, so he's got 2 attacks and leadership 9.
Veteran biker sergeant with power sword runs just shy of 50 points.
Exactly, so he's cheaper. He's got a teleport Homer
for the Terminator.
And special issue ammunition.
And he's got a fancy bird.
We'll get to that.
The bird does something. I don't know what the bird does.
He's got Hammer of Wrath, Hit and Run, Jink, Relentless. He's got Split Fire.
Oh, good lord.
So in the big...
Split Fire is... Is it one model or is it any model now? I can't remember.
Have a look. Split Fire... I think it's just the model that has Split Fire. It's like that... what's the mechanical formation of all the Castellans and the Datasmiths?
Yeah, because Cohort, I think.
Oh, holy shit.
It's any, isn't it?
Contains at least one model with this special rule shoots. One model in the unit can shoot at a different target to the rest of the unit. Once the shooting attack has been resolve the shooting attacks made by the rest of the unit. These must be at a different target, which cannot be a unit forced to disembark as a result of split fire in the unit's initial shooting attack. So anybody can split fire.
Yeah, I knew it was anybody.
That's insane. If you run past say, a horde of orcs and just go, oh yeah, I'm just going to torch you with me frag cannon as I run past. I'm going to pop that melter gun at your predator as I shoot and charge the rest of these.
I think it's more going to be a case of I'm going to pop these 2 frag shells into this massive horde of orc boys and then rapid fire these poison 2+ bolters into that knob mob in front of me. Damn, that was difficult to say.
When you consider that, actually, I kind of see where they're going now, because in the big formation, when they're all working together, it's going to be a tough unit to get rid of. Now, you said that you thought that these were seriously outclassed by the Tyranids, but when we've looked at the rules there,
they're still outclassed.
Well, if you get endurance with that librarian, right?
You've
got Fearless, you've got Split Fire, you've got Stealth and Shrouded.
You've got 4+ Feel No Pain. You've got Eternal Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a lot of decent shooting. You've got
Split Fire. You've got all the AP3 goodness of close combat. You've got the Terminator there, re-rolling hits and re-rolling wounds. Mastercrafted as well. So if he's in there as well, you've got AP2 in combat. That's the only AP2 you're going to have in combat.
Yeah, but who cares? It's a Power Fist.
But you've got enough AP3. I mean, you've got the Librarian, you've got the Raven Guard, and then you've got the Dark Angel Champion and the Biker at AP3. As long as you don't charge Terminators or anything with 2-up armor, you've got a reasonably good chance of coming out on the better end of it.
Unless it's got toughness ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Plus, when you take the entire unit, the entire formation, models from this formation can re-roll any 2 wound rolls of and armor penetration rolls of a 1.
Oh, yeah, all those rapid fire poison 2+ rounds.
Yep. And then see that frag cannon that's took strength 6 wound and more stuff on 2s. So you roll a 1, you re-roll it to a 6 in your end. All them power swords wounding on 4s, at least re-rolling the 1s. Actually, I think as an entire unit, they're quite good. It's just, one, it's a shame about the Blood Angel.
Yeah, he
Two,
doesn't seem to do anything to Blood Angel.
it's a shame that the biker and the 2 jump packs are basically being held back. You also cannot make any sweeping advances
Because the Terminator.
because of the Terminator.
I suppose
Right.
that's that much of a problem.
David just messaged, great model can charge from Deep Strike as well. That must be the Terminator. David, who can charge from reserve. Also, the White Scar adds 1 to his strength when resolving hits caused by Hammer of Wrath.
So he's got Hammer of Wrath strength 5.
Rerolling 1s. He's also said in the full formation, you put him at the front and get him to Jink. He gets stealth from the Raven Guard and has Jink cover save bonus.
Yeah, he's at the front, toughness 5, 2 up cover save.
Yeah.
Bastard.
So at the front, if he's jinking, no, he said he read the wrong rules, right? So no one can charge from reserve. But if you put him, he's right. If you put him at the front,
because he's toughness 5
because of the Raven Guard.
Well, no, he's toughness 5 with the Jink save anyway. Then White Scars have Jink 3+, and then stealth.
So either way, he's got a 2-up Jink, and if you happen to get endurance with that librarian, he's toughness 5, 2-up cover save, 4 feel no pain.
Remind me to invest in an Acheron.
What, you mean that one?
Yeah, the one with the massive flame cannon.
Actually, you know what? When you on the surface, they don't look that good. But when you consider the combos that you get in there, that's actually pretty insane.
Yeah, suddenly taking that entire thing for 535 in any kind of Imperial army doesn't seem that bad an idea.
Nah, run your Blood Angel, your Ultramarine, and your Iron Hand kind of around the center with your Librarian and Cassius in the center. Have the Imperial Fist and the Terminator on each flank, so you've got a template covering each flank. You've then got obviously the bolt guns from the
everything else.
Sorry?
From the everything else.
Yeah, you've got the bolt guns from everything else. You've then got the champion on, your champion and your Blood Angel.
Champion's in the middle, then your fast guys at the back who then just jump to the front when it matters.
Exactly. I think that they're going to be very kind of. They're tough, don't get me wrong. The Norras, Glasshammers, Harlequins, for example. But I think with the amount of rules and combos that you've got here, it's not going to be an easy force to play.
Yeah, and as per my usual trump card for virtually any Death Star, you're into a Vindicator, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. Yeah. But technically, unless you run into that squadron of 3, you've still got that 2-up cover save on the front if that White Scar's leading and jinking.
All right, then I'll sub out my... well, actually, for 535 points, A, you can. And B, I'll switch that for an Imperial Knight. Go ahead. Get close to me. I dare you.
Yeah. I think, fluff-wise, all the units in those combos... sorry, that entire formation in that combo, fluff-wise, is great because it really emphasizes them all working together and sharing the same universal special rules. I just feel like a couple of the models could have done with a little bit more. I think the Space Wolf and the Blood Angel are seriously lacking.
Yeah, but Team Twilight's not exactly a thing anymore.
I mean, come on, even the bloody Dark Angel's better.
Dark Angels are annoyingly good. They're just half traitor and the other half,
Right. Let's have a look at the Tyranid stuff. Where are we at? There we go. Right, so do you want to start with each of the things separately and then we'll go for the big formation?
Yeah, I'm already scared of that bit of formation.
Right. The Faithful Wrong. 110 points consists of 16 neophyte hybrids.
Yeah, 16 neophytes, 2 mining lasers.
Right, so we've got 12 neophytes with auto guns, weapon skill 3, BS 3, strength and toughness 3, 1 movement, initiative 4, 1 attack, leadership 8. Is that 5 plus save?
Yeah, it's flak armor. If they're lucky.
So 12 with auto guns, so basically they're just there as a meat shield. We've got
Mining lasers are pretty good.
2 neophytes with grenade launchers, range 24, crack grenade, strength 6 AP 4, salt 1, frag grenade, strength 3 AP 6. So basically they've got the ability to chuck grenades 24 inches. It's not bad, 2 of them's going to at least do a little bit of damage, I think. Mining lasers, strength 9 AP 2, heavy 1. There's 2 of them in there, you're hitting on 4, so 1 of them's going to hit. With the amount of dice that's going to be pouring in from the auto guns, I think even if you shoot at Terminators, you're going to cause some casualties. Yeah. However, I just feel like you've got auto guns, fair enough. You've got grenade launchers, which are kind of,
ish
in the middle, kind of can deal with horde or light armor. But then you've got the mining lasers, which is strength 9 AP 2. Don't get us wrong, it's good. It's good that Tyranids can have the strength 9 AP 2. But you've got 2 shots, and the squad's very mixed up.
After the unit we've just gone through, do you really complain that these guys are mixed up? Like, really?
I don't get the unit. It's like that Thanatar that with the last cannon and the gravity hammer. It's like it wants to shoot, but it wants to be in combat. But it's not.
No, it wants to stand in the middle, firing at everything, daring things to come to get it. Same principle as an Imperial Knight Paladin. Stands there shelling it to shit, so you have to go and chop it up. But it has a D-sword.
True. How would you use these models then?
I would probably be tempted to leave those dudes just in one corner, just as like an anchor. Because, I mean, at 24 inches, you've got 2 strength 9 AP 2 and 4 strength 6 AP 4, plus all your auto guns, which is enough cloud of flak to bring down pretty much anything.
You'd only have 2 strength 6 AP 4.
Oh, the grenade launcher's not 2 shots?
No, it's just 1, but there's 2 of them in the unit.
I thought they were 2 shots each.
No.
Fair enough. Okay, so you've got 2 strength 9 AP 2, 2 strength 6 AP 4, and then 14, 28 auto gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a mess of most things. Liam suggests we put them in the bin. I mean...
No, I think they're a good backline anchor. Just like leave them there, popping away at stuff that comes near. Just leave them on one of the objectives in your deployment zone.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a deployment zone unit. I wouldn't have them anywhere further forward than me deployment zone, I don't think. Possibly a central objective if I had, like, more stuff surrounding it, like carnifexes or some shit.
Yeah.
That's what you could advance behind your line and capture things.
A lot of people are arguing over these being able to ally with Tyranids, actually. I was reading in the Tyranid page that in White Dwarf, apparently, when it comes out, it's going to say that they ally exactly like Tyranids. However, people are saying they ally like Tyranids, but they're part of the Genestealer cult faction, which means they can't ally with Tyranids, they can only ally with themselves.
That makes no sense, considering if they follow the Tyranid rules, would have a different faction that is perfect setup of primary, secondary.
Yep.
So you would go Cad of Tyranids, allied of cult.
Yeah, exactly.
That seems like the perfect setup to me. I'm not sure what they're complaining about.
Neither do I, but a lot of people are saying you can't do it because they have their own separate faction.
That would be fine if you were trying to take a high fleet detachment and then fill up on little dudes with guns.
Either way, I think the models are cool, and this guy I absolutely love the model of Primus Vorgan Trist.
That's the psycho dude, isn't it? Or is that the little dude
I
with the sword
haven't
and
actually
pistol?
read these yet, so I don't know. So, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 3, 2 wounds,
Two
initiative
words.
4, 3 attacks, leadership 10, 5 up armor. Independent character Rendon and Zealot. He has a needle pistol, a bone sword, and
A
blasting
friggin'
power.
bone sword.
He's got a bone sword.
Oh shit. Okay.
He's AP3 instant death on a 6.
I know what a bone sword does.
Bearing in mind he's also got a poison 2 plus pistol,
And he himself has rending.
and he himself has rending. So it's AP3 Rendon Zealot. Does rending confer to the entire unit?
Oh hell no! Don't even bother checking that.
I don't think it does.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It's an on model basis. Actually, it's certainly technically on an as weapon basis.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So technically, on the roll of a 6, not only are you rending, you're also instant deathing.
Yes.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's great.
Rending also means that you can always wound on a 6, which means that little guy can go toe to toe with monsters and probably kill them.
Only up to toughness 7 though, because he can't hurt. He's only strength 3.
Rending always wounds.
Does it?
It's like Bladestone. Always wounds at AP2. Difference is Bladestone doesn't add anything for vehicles.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Wow. Yeah,
I know they do. That's how snipers work, pretty much.
he is an independent character, so let's find out who we would attach him to.
Let's not yet. There's more turnings to go through. There's like a lot more turnings to go through.
I know. I've got the rest of the characters here. Do you want to jump to the rest of the units? Or do you
I
want to
would go for the rest of the units for the characters.
Right, so we've got the Brothers Aberrant. Oh, wait there, hang on. So the Faithful Throng is troops.
Yep.
Primus Vorgon Trist looks to be HQ.
I would expect so.
The Brothers Aberrant are elites. So weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 1, strength 5. Is that toughness 5?
Think so.
2 wounds, initiative 2, 2 attacks, leadership. I can't make it out.
Yeah, sorry, the pictures aren't brilliant.
6 or 8. I'm going to say 8. And I'm going to say, is that 5 up armor save?
Probably if I have armor save, because it'll be the same as the rest of them.
Yeah. 2 of them have power hammers, 2 of them have power picks. All models have rending claws.
Yeah, power hammers are literally what they sound like.
Power hammers plus 3 strength, which makes them strength 8. Melee, specialist weapon, 2-handed, concussive, unwieldy.
You're looking at the AP value.
2.
Uh-huh.
It's basically a Thunderhammer, but plus 3 strength instead of times 2. You've then got power picks, which is plus 2 strength, AP3, unwieldy. But then you've got rending claws.
Which means you've got initiative, not reliable.
No. It's all right. They are stubborn and they have feel no pain. So the fact that toughness 5 with feel no pain is decent. I think they're probably a unit that I would use as kind of a counter punch, kind of leave them in cover, and then when you need to go and grab their objective or somebody comes near you that's a threat, then basically jump out and charge.
Problem is they won't have the number of attacks to get through anything that's an actual threat, but they'll make a mess of pretty much anything else.
Any units that are being whittled down, I think that they're handy. Like if you've got 2, maybe 3 Terminators left, I think maybe charge them at that. They could probably survive against it, but they're a very tar pity type unit, I think, as well.
There's not enough of them to be a tar pity type unit.
There's not enough to be a threat.
There's not enough of them for them to be a tar pit.
No. I suppose a mop-up crew is kind of probably what the best at being used for.
I would say them as support, to be honest. That Trigon Prime that always seems to sit on its own.
Yeah.
him.
Fair enough. The other troop one we've got is the Favoured Disciples. I think that's 85 points. You get 12 Acolyte hybrids.
Those are combat-y ones, I think.
Yeah, Weapon Skill 4, Strength 4, Ballistic Skill 3, Toughness 3, 1 wound, 2 attacks apiece, Leadership 8. So auto pistol and close combat weapons. So they're going to chuck 4 attacks each on the charge with rending claws, and they've got assault grenades. They are also fearless.
All Genestealers are fearless.
Right. And I think we've just found out where we're putting that prime guy. Primus Vorgan Trist. Stick him in there.
Probably, yeah.
Because, I mean, they're all rending. He's going to give them Zealot, chucking 4 attacks each. Weapon Skill 4, Strength 4, rending. And the fact that there's going to be 13 of them, I mean, don't get us wrong, he's still going to do, you're going to take damage no matter who you charge. But the fact there's going to be 13 of them, they could probably, well, maybe he's not cut through Marines, but then again, with the amount of attacks that you're chucking, I would say, if you're going for a tactical squad, you've got a good chance. The only problem you've got is Overwatch, because obviously 5-up armor, the bolts will cut through your armor.
Yeah, but that happens with 80% of the Tyranid infantry and no one complains.
Exactly. Imagine having a Venom throw up near them.
I'd rather not, to be brutally honest.
How about a Malanthrope that's already killed something? No. Malanthrope wouldn't convert to these because I believe the Malanthrope's rules only convert to Tyranids. And these are technically a separate faction, so I don't believe the Malanthrope's preferred enemy would convert to them. But even then, sticking that character with them, they're going to be chucking out enough attacks that they're going to do damage. And they're initiative 4, so they're not going after you. Well, they're going at half the time, they're going at the same time as most of the stuff that you're going to charge at. What do you reckon?
Okay, fair enough. That'll probably hit quite hard, and that does seem to be a sensible place to put your Lord.
I mean, if you charge them at a combat squad of Marines, don't get us wrong, you're going to lose models, but you're probably going to take out the Marines with that amount of attacks re-rolling to hit.
Depends on the Marine squad, but yes, 9 times out of 10, my money would be on them, not the Marines.
Right, we've then got Magus Orthan Trist. So, Weapon Skill 4, Ballistic Skill 4, Strength and Toughness 3, 2 wounds, Initiative 4, 2 attacks, Leadership 9, 5-up armor. He is an independent character, so he can join a unit. He's got an auto pistol and a force stave.
Force stave plus 2 strength AP 4. It's a force maul, basically.
Alright, okay. And Genestealer Familiar. Genestealer Familiar. A model with the Genestealer Familiar makes 2 additional Strength 4 AP dash attacks with the Rending special rule in close combat. The Genestealer Familiar is represented by a separate miniature that will always remain as close as possible to the Master. The model itself is decorative and is always ignored for game purposes. Just move it to one side if it gets in the way. Remove the Genestealer Familiar once its Master has been slain. So it's a bit like the
right, scary parrot.
Yeah, and it looks like a small
Genestealer, probably.
Do you know what? It actually looks like Gollum.
Really?
Have a look at the picture, and it actually looks like Gollum.
Yeah, I was like Gollum. Not gonna lie.
The model itself, yeah, Dave says it's an attack squig. Yeah, basically. Yeah. The model itself is phenomenal. I mean, Josh, I don't know if you'll be able to remember this, but obviously, when I was like 12, I vaguely remember the old Genestealer Magus model that just went out of production when I first started collecting back in 2nd edition. And this model, it puts everything back to exactly as I remember it, and especially with like the hybrid models and stuff. So I really, really do like this model.
It looks like a decent Chaos Sorcerer to me, but That's because I'm a serial kit basher.
Yeah. So he's a Psyker, Mastery level 2, and he generates from telepathy. So you've got Terrify, Psychic, Shriek, Invis? We've got Invis and telepathy.
Yep. Telepathy's invisibility.
Ha!
Psychic,
You know
Shriek, and invisibility.
Attach him. Dave says, bring back the limos as transport. Hell yes.
This means nothing to me.
Attach him and that other one to that big 14, the 12 unit of the disciples.
The acolytes.
Yeah. No, the favored disciples.
The shooty ones.
Yes. No,
well, there's shooty ones and there's combat ones.
Combat ones. Attach them to the combat ones, right? Invis them, and then charge.
As long as you're not going to charge the Deathwatch with all those flamers, you'll be fine.
Exactly, because you're invisible.
Flamers won't give a shit if you're charging.
You can't use the flamers because you can't use templates against invisible targets.
It's Wall of Flame. It's a different rule. We've been through this many times. Wall of Flame's an auto hit D3.
Bear in mind, you're going to have 4 templates because you'll have the hand flamer, you'll have the heavy flamer,
heavy flamer, frag cannon.
Frag cannons too, so you're going to have 4. That's not good.
Yeah, so I was saying, as long as you're not charging the Deathwatch and all of those flamers, you'll be fine.
I think in combat, bear in mind they're invisible and initiative 4.
Invisible dudes, I'm not the happiest about fighting ever. I'm not going to lie.
When you've got a unit of 14 of them with Zealots, you're going to have 4 attacks apiece. That's nasty stuff.
Yeah, that's really nasty.
All Rendon as well. So yeah, I like him as well. I think combining those 2 characters with that unit, leave the other squad on the back lines is.
Well, they just cover the combat guys advance. That's all.
Exactly. Right. Patriarch Gozar.
Oh, don't do the Patriarch yet.
Why?
Because he's the most fun. Do the others first.
That's everything.
Is that everything, is it?
Yeah. There's 3 units and 3 characters.
Okay, fair enough then. Do the Patriarch.
The model. Bearing in mind, obviously, we've got the old Broodlord, which looks like he's got a face up splitting out of his chest. We've got Cryptus, and we've got the Space Hulk Broodlord, and now this one.
I don't think I've ever seen the Space Hulk Broodlord.
Do you want to see him?
Wouldn't mind if he's to hand.
2 minutes. And for everybody else watching, this is a sneak peek at the models I've been working on for Space Hulk. I'm nearly finished the Genestealers. Give me 2 minutes.
Right, so allow me to take the camera. What we're looking at here, at least what I've got on the screen next to me, is all of the Deathwatch models. And I'm not going to lie, they all look pretty good. Although I'm not quite sure why all of the Genestealer combat dudes have got 3 arms. It's not really something I've looked at before. I mean, they're nice enough, and it works for a combat weapon, Rending Claw and a pistol. But it just looks a bit quirky to me. So if you want to...
Hybrids.
Oh yeah, I know that the hybrids. It's just, you can have a hybrid with, like, you know, a queer head and some clawed fingers. You don't just sprout an extra arm.
Genestealer hybrids do. The old models look like that as well. Anyway, bear in mind this guy is not finished. It's a sneak peek. And let me just put the camera on screen so I can actually see what I'm showing you.
Oh, that's the Space Hulk Broodlord.
I'll just speak again so that people can see it. But yeah. So most of my Genestealers are pretty close to being finished. I've got most of the Blood Angels, like helmets and stuff, to finish off. But they are pretty close to being finished. So Phil, when I get the last couple of Terminators done, we'll be ready to start Space Hulk. And then I've got to paint all of the Deathwatch stuff. And hopefully we'll have Deathwatch battle reports as well. So that's the Genestealers. That's what I've been working on for the last couple of days. I haven't really painted for about, how long, Josh? 3 or 4 weeks?
You've missed a unit, by the way. The Cult Pure Strain.
Oh, so I have. Right, let's jump back to the Pure Strains.
But to be honest, Pure Strains are literally Genestealers. They've got nothing else.
They've got Stealth and Hit and Run.
which they do anyway, I think.
Don't have stealth, because that's why I take Spawn of Cryptus. Oh, let's just get out yet another Codex. Genestealers. Why you can get a chance to find them.
What?
Genestealers. Nope, they do not have stealth as standard. So the fact that these have stealth as standard, but normal Genestealers are 14 points. This is 30 points for 2. So for 2 points, you're getting stealth. And yeah, they've only got Rending Claws. They don't have Silent Talons. The Spawn of Cryptus, you get Silent Talons in there as well for the points. So I feel Spawn of Cryptus is definitely the way to go for normal Genestealers. But these,
to be honest, Spawn of Cryptus has Silent Talons, but have you actually read this dude's claws yet?
we are on about the pure strain Genestealers still, aren't we?
Well, they're just Genestealers, they're stealth. That's fine.
Oh, we're jumping back to the Patriarch now.
Yeah, there was nowhere near as much to those pure strains as I thought.
Right. Before we discuss the rules for the Patriarch, what are your thoughts on the model?
Well, I'm looking currently for the old Broodlord, like the metal. Oh, there he is. Oh, sold out, no longer available.
Yeah, unfortunately, mine's not painted. I don't have next to us. However, if you give me 2 seconds, where's Cryptus?
I know what Cryptus looks like. He looks like he's the one who's coming to steal your face.
Yeah, there we go. There's Cryptus.
Right, so there's Cryptus. Hold him up next to the thingy one, and then take back the camera.
There you go.
Yeah, you can see that they come from the same place.
Cryptus is definitely bigger, but the models are almost identical. It's basically the arms are in a different position, the legs are slightly different. The old one, he's actually in the unpainted box because I don't run Genestealers very often, so I'm not in a rush to get him painted. But he's kind of like, Rah!
Yeah, I found a picture. It's just got a massive sold out stamped across it, so I can't really see much.
However, Google image Genestealer Patriarch.
Oh, I've seen that. I mean, I've got
fat snob on the throne.
The fat snob on the throne.
Yes.
Didn't realize there was a different Patriarch to the one I was on about.
Yeah, this is like, you know how I said about the old 2nd edition Megas? This is the old 2nd edition Patriarch. And like Dave said,
actually, Lord, that fat slob on the throne.
Yes.
I used to think that was a lizard man.
Patriarch basically sits there and orders the rest of the brood and the cult around. To me, don't get me wrong, this Patriarch is a phenomenal model, but he's a broodlord, not a Patriarch. So I don't like this model as a Patriarch. I think if it was a broodlord, hell yes, it's phenomenal. It looks so much more menacing than what Cryptus or the broodlord from Space Hulk does. The spikes, I really like them because you know my Swarm Lord, Josh, how I've got the shells running down his back to make him look like quite menacing. That's the image I get with this. If nobody's seen the Swarm Lord, wherever I find him, where is he?
Top shelf, isn't he?
No, middle. There we go. I added all them shells down his spine myself.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the impression I get with the new one. So these spines here, I added on all myself. And they're actually just seashells. That's the impression I get from that Patriarch. He's a very menacing broodlord. But like I said, to me, he's a broodlord, not a Patriarch. Rules-wise, let's have a look. Weapon skill 7. Is Cryptus weapon skill 7?
I think so. You've got the Deathwatch book.
Oh, man.
This is book number 5 now, people.
Space Marine Blood Angel, bro, boo. Deathstorm. Oh. Right, Cryptus, where's he at? Weapon skill 7, he's weapon skill 7. Strength and toughness 5. 3 wounds, initiative 7, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 4 armor. He's a broodlord, not a Patriarch. However, Rules. Bulky, fear, fearless, fleet, hit and run. Don't believe Cryptus has any or all of those. Bulky, fleet, infiltrate, stealth. So he has fear and fearless, hit and run, independent character. He actually has stealth as well and infiltrate. He's also mastery level 2, not mastery level 1. And he can generate from telepathy, whereas Cryptus only knows the horror and dominion. Let's have a look. Dave says they've changed the patriarchal law from what I've read. Fair enough.
Yeah, Patriarch's the first one now.
Although I've got White Dwarf here, I actually haven't read any of the Flux stuff about them, so I'll probably have a read through that afterwards. However, strength user, AP3, melee, rending, shred.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to know whether or not it's the same as Deathwatch. Can you just take this as a HQ for Tyranids? I think that needs some clarification. If somebody knows whether or not you can, for example, with the Deathwatch, can you take that librarian as a HQ for the armies of the Imperium? Can you take any of these characters as HQs in a normal Tyranid book? Because he's phenomenal. I'm tempted to say attaching him to Genestealers and pay the points for the Silent Talons might be more or more efficient than taking Cryptus.
Why?
Because you hit and run, and you've got stealth, and he causes fear, and he's fearless. So straight away you've got fearless Gene. I mean, you're probably going to be in Synapse anyway, but if you can attach him to a unit of Genestealers.
Well, Genestealers don't actually have
Silent Talons.
Instinctive behavior.
No,
so
no.
You don't need them in Synapse.
No, but they're not. I don't think they're fearless.
No, they aren't. But
which means it could be overrun. Where's there?
Yeah, but there's still leadership 10, initiative 6. If you're getting overrun, you're doing it wrong.
True.
Unless you're fighting Eldar. But
so yeah, I mean, he can go on telepathy. So I mean, you know, you've got Psychic Shriek, you've got Terrify. Again, invisibility.
Yeah, telepathy on Tyranids is something I'm not happy with because they've got way too many creatures which were already difficult to deal with.
Actually, you know what? You're right, because if you take him, even if he's in a separate detachment, oh look, I've just made me Swarm Lord and Tyrant Guard invisible. Or that Sky Tyrant formation is invisible. 20 gargoyles and that Hive Tyrant bellowing to Warjet that's invisible. Bearing in mind, you've got two characters rolling on telepathy.
Both of which mastery level 2.
Exactly. So each roll, you've got a 33% chance of getting it.
Don't remind me.
That is going to be brutal. That is actually, yeah, that is actually terrifying. I mean, what else have you got? Invis on your Venomthropes on Malanthropes, which means if your Malanthrope's invisible, he's still conferring shrouded within 6 inches. it's going to be even harder to take out the cover saves of the Tyranids. That's some nice combos.
Yeah, but again, you're relying on getting invisibility.
Not relying, but it is a massive, massive bonus if you do. The fact that you can take telepathy anyway. I mean, what's the other powers in telepathy? I normally take these on my Eldar Farseer, but I can't remember them. I know there's Terrify.
Psychic Shriek, Terrify, Hallucination, Invisibility. Not entirely sure. Liam, in relation to your flying thing, they're all jump infantry, move 12, so getting hit normally. So yeah, it'll make a massive difference.
I mean, bear in mind that those gargoyles that I run that way would always have a 5 cover save anyway, that have a venom to nearby. But if the fact that they're getting hit on 6s, most of the time they're going to get wounded on 3s, but then they're going to have the 5 of cover. So if they're hitting on 6s, wounded on 3s, followed by a 5 of cover as well, that's, you know, that unit is a lot of points the way I run it. It's like 400 odd points. But wow, that would make such a massive difference getting them invisible. Going back to the powers, you've got Psychic Shriek, Dominate, which every time your opponent wants to do something, take a leadership test. Mental Fortitude, immediately regroup. That's probably not going to come into effect. Bear in mind, you're probably going to have Synapse. A lot of these are Fearless. Yeah. Terrify, -1 penalty to leadership. And treat all enemy units as having the Fear special rule, which is actually handy because if you go into charging, go into with fear. Although there's loads of fearless units and they shall know no fear, that's still actually quite useful to combo in with the Tyranids. I mean, if you can cause somebody to fail a fear test against Hormigans, they're chucking 4 attacks each, hitting on 3s. You've then actually got Shrouding as well. So if you've lost your Venomthrope or your Malanthropes, or somebody is out of range, you've got that as well.
Phil's just pointed out the obvious choices for invisibility. Your monsters.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Zoanthropes.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Invisible Zoanthropes would be pretty damn scary. Especially with the Psychic Shriek bubble type.
Group in run anyway means they can absorb a lot of fire, but making them invisible means that you've got an absolutely durable invisible unit in the middle of your board, firing off Spirit Leech and Warp Lance and controlling the Synapse in the center of the table. So absolutely, Phil, totally agree with you.
No, Liam, this does not mean I'll be okay with the invisible Wraith Knight. Take that kind of heresy out of here, boy.
And then you've got Hallucination, which is all right, but it's not one that I would rely on ever. So I think, yeah, running them with them sighted powers is fantastic. We've got one more thing to discuss, Josh.
Don't remind me.
Gozar Quintus Broodkin. It's exactly 600 points.
I hate this formation. I haven't even played it yet.
Which is everything combined. And bearing in mind the way I would run them is I would probably stick the 2 smaller HQs with the combat hybrids. And I'm tempted to stick the Patriarch with the 2 Genestealers with the 4 big things I can't remember the names of, supporting them. Leave the shooty ones on the back line to grab objectives. Now, in the big formation, they all have infiltrate and they all have stealth. However, ambush of the unhollowed. All Gozar Quintus Broodkin units that deploy using the infiltrate special rule have the shrouded special rule until the start of their second game turn and can attempt to charge on their first turn.
Which is in itself ridiculously overpowered.
I totally agree. In addition, when the Patriarch, Gozar, and the Pure Strain principles deploy using their infiltrate special rule, they can be set up anywhere on the table that is more than an inch away from an enemy unit, whether deployed units can draw a line of sight to them or not. Patriarch Gozar cannot do this if joined to a unit, unless the unit is the pure strength princelings.
Which, again, by itself, is completely overpowered.
The fact that you can infiltrate within an inch is immensely powerful. The fact that you can charge from infiltrate is immensely powerful. But to infiltrate an inch away and charge, Jesus, man. I mean, I know that's only the Patriarch and the two Genestealers that can get within an inch and do it.
That's still a relatively hard-hitting unit for turn one assault.
And bearing in mind, right, if you've got those two characters with the combat hybrids 12 inches away, if you can get that many models. But I mean, even then, even if you're 18 inches away, you've still got a good chance. Even if you go second, the opponent might move up. You know, you can move 6 forward. Do you know what I mean? Charging them is insane. On turn 1, after they've infiltrated, with stealth and shrouded. That formation is
broken.
Absolutely. And to add to that, whilst Patriarch Gozar is alive, all Gozar Quintus Broodkin models have Fearless and Adamantium Will.
And Adamantium Will.
Hmm?
And Adamantium Will.
And Adamantium Will.
As if they weren't powerful enough already.
So, see your Librarian that's going to smite them. Yeah, I'll just deny on, what would it be? If he targets one of the 3 Psychers, it's going to be Adamantium Will plus 1
4
to be the Psyker, which means you're going to be denying on a 4+.
If it happens to be a Mastery Level 1 Psyker, it's 3+.
No, he's a Mastery Level 2.
No, I'm saying if the guy who's casting Smite happens to be...
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was referring to the Bloodraven Librarian.
Well, yeah, but there's plenty of Mastery Level 1 Psychers exist. Every unit of Grey Knights ever. Every unit of Demons ever.
Against Grey Knights, these are going to be absolutely broken. No, they don't have Shadows of the War. But...
No, they don't.
But alongside Tyranids, and if you've got your Flyrant that's moved up there 24 inches...
Shadow in the Warp plus Adamantium Will means Grey Knights are going to be shagged.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be denying on 3s or 4s, and then if they do peril, yes, they get to reroll 1s and stuff as well, but if they do peril, they're already at -3 leadership. If you're hitting them on top of that with Spirit Leech from the Neurothrow, or even, I think it's Psychic Scream as well.
That's the bubble one, yeah.
Yeah, that's the 6-inch Nova.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, that's going to be brutal stuff.
Liam reckons it'll be a job for Eldar. I don't think it will, for the simple reason of Farseers are level 3 or level 4?
Level 3.
Level 3, so they will always have the upper hand with Psychic. They won't have as many Psychic dice, but I very, very often see 2 Farseers and then a load of Warlocks on a field.
Yeah.
So weight of dice might be not quite as far skewed as I think it'll be, and obviously Eldar can reliably have large numbers of dice as a harness.
Mm-hmm. Nikki's just inbox there. On the invisibility psychic power, I read it as an enemy can only snapshot an invisible unit. However, Wall of Flame is not a snapshot and so cannot fire Overwatch, as Overwatch is treated as normal firing rules. What do you think, as it would make the cult last longer versus charging into Deathwatch Flamers? We'll have to double check that.
I think that everything he's just said is completely correct, apart from his wording on the snapshot. Wall of Flame is a separate rule that says, due to the fact the template can't be snapshot, use these rules for Overwatch instead.
It's not even in the USRs. Oh, well,
in Overwatch.
template weapons can fire Overwatch, even though they cannot fire snapshots. Instead, fires it automatically inflicts D3 hits. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. It auto inflicts D3. It's just like a destroy weapon auto inflicts D3 hull points.
Yeah. That's brutal. I think with both, I don't think quite so much with the Deathwatch. They don't necessarily fit alongside with the armies of the Imperium massively well. I think some things can help them. Like, I mean, that giant formation, right? It doesn't say that it can't be joined by other independent characters. But bearing in mind that most of the characters have quite a lot of rules with them.
Or is this the Deathwatch characters?
Yeah.
What, is this going to become the new Centurion star?
Who would you add to that?
Take Irius and Drago.
Right.
Because that makes it Mastery level 8. Come with another 2-up armor save and 3-up invulnerable save. Hell of a lot more combat punch. A lot more psychic power.
So you know what you could do? I've seen this on the Long War where basically they make a Death Star unit. I think it was the Space Wolves with the Iron Priest and Ravenwing Command Squad. And what they do is they're very careful about the placement. I think it was Rob and Juice that did it. And they were very, very careful about the way that they place the models. Basically, you can have that White Scar guy at the front for the 2-up covered Jink. Have the Imperials got access to a power that allows you to reroll failed saves, or is that just Eldar?
That's just Eldar.
What
are you scoffing at? You are an Eldar player.
Hardly. But even then, if you've got endurance off because of the Blood Raven, right? You've got Eternal Warrior, 4+ feel no pain. You've got your 2-up Jink save on that White Scar at the front. If something ignores cover, look out, Sarah, onto Drago with Sanctuary. With a 4+ feel no pain Eternal Warrior. Then 2 at the front.
Optionally, you could also add Severin Loth. Just remembered he exists.
Who's that?
Forge World character for either Red Scorpions or Minotaurs. Can't remember which one, but he's got Artificer armor. He can choose his psychic powers from one of 3 disciplines, one of which is telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hold a warp charge back, you can burn it on your armor to make your armor save turn invulnerable.
Wow!
So you put him with the front with a 2-up armor save, with a 2-up invulnerable save, alongside guaranteed invisibility.
That's actually better. No, not necessarily. But then again, if you can choose from Biomancy, you can guarantee yourself endurance as well.
Yeah. I think it's Biomancy, Telepathy, and Divination.
And then Divination allows reroll hits.
Divination also allows a 4+ invulnerable on the entire unit and ignores cover on the entire unit. Severin Loth, there you go. There's one for you. Drago, if you want another one, just because to teleport them around the board.
That as well, yeah.
And if you particularly must be a massive arse with it, put Tigurius in it as well, just to get you yet more psychic powers. Is there any other Imperial Psychers that are powerful? I think they're the only 3 named level 3 Psychers.
Mephiston's level 3, but he has Sanguine Sword as standard, so...
Yeah, he's only getting 2 powers.
The problem with that is he can only get 2 powers from somewhere else. If you roll on Sanguinary, then you can generate 2 and the Primaris.
No, I double-checked that. If he's got 1 listed in his entry and you generate the other 2 from the same place, he still gets that Primaris.
Does he?
Yes.
Ah, right. Fair enough. I didn't realise that. I always take him on...
Neither did I, because I was reading up on this when I was starting to do my research into Tzeentch Demonkin. Because currently all the Tzeentch marks mean you must guarantee generate at least 1 power from the Chaos table, which means because of the way it works, you generate 1 from there, gain Chaos Psychic Focus from your mark, then generate your other 2, and then gain Psychic Focus from your table.
In that case, I'd be tempted to chuck Mephiston 1 dice at Biomancy to see if I can get that 4+ Feel No Pain Eternal Warrior. And then take the other on Quicken It on Blood Angel and just drop it for Quicken It anyway.
I honestly, as much as Quickening would be very good fun in that unit, considering everyone's a character.
Warp Speed.
Initiative 7 Jazz Hands. I believe that Mephiston's not going to be the best character for that unit.
Oh, no, definitely
considering that Mephiston himself comes with a reasonably expensive tax. Whereas Severinloth is your HQ, and he's not quite as expensive as Mephiston. Would give you...
Does that Raven Guard have hit and run?
Probably.
No, White Scar does, doesn't he?
Yeah, White Scar does.
Which, bearing in mind, if one model in the unit has
yes,
it...
Yes, I know that one. That one converts. Yes. Yes, I know. Bear with me. Just bear with me. Right? Just bear with me. Hang on.
Right.
So if you take Severinloth as your HQ, you've then got, like, you know, generic Space Marine list for building tools. Or if you wanted to add Drago, you've got, as a tax, you've got a unit of Terminators, which are always good, and then another HQ, which you can get another level 3 Librarian for 125 points, also put in that unit, who also happens to come with Terminator armor. So then that gets you 2 Psychers in the unit, all of which come with 2-up armor and a lot of psychic potential. Or you go Tigerius, in which case you also would bring, at least I would bring, a Scout Squad with Sergeant Tellian, just because long-range shooting with all precision shots.
Isn't his sniper heavy, though?
His snipers, well, all the snipers are heavy, but they're 36 inches, so you plonk them in the middle of the unit, you can shoot most of everything on the board. So if you wanted to build it...
And you've got split fire.
And you've got split fire with Sergeant Tellian, yes. I think so.
No. You've got split fire from
Sergeant Tellian can only join Sniper Scouts. He can only join Scouts. As far as assembling this properly is concerned, you have always been able to run the full Gravsent star in 1500 points, which is Tiggy, Tax, Gravsents, Drago, Librarian, Terminators in 1500 points. So if you then skimp on your upgrades slightly to get the 330, to get the 35 back, take this entire formation, you're then going to put Tiggy, the Librarian, and Drago in that unit. The alternative, of course, is go, and because now you don't need the Gravsents, you can buy some air support.
Well, actually, David mentioned that. He said if you really, really want to go fluffy, and bear in mind you have to run it unbound, I think.
No, it's formation. You can get this thing bound, trust me.
You can
get this thing bound, and it's terrifying.
Kill Team Cassius with a storm.
Joe, I just thought about.
What?
Joe, that's as a formation.
What?
Librarius Conclave. 5 Terminator armored storm shielded librarians. All in that unit. All psychic powers harnessed on a 2+.
Roll on psychic harnessed on a 2+, which means that you get, well, 1 or 2 of them in
you can put one of your librarians on each of the disciplines they have access to, because you have 5.
So if you consider Sanctuary, that puts them at a 2-up invuln, tank and everything at the front.
Yep.
Invis,
yeah, it'd be a case of 2-up invuln, 4-up Feel No Pain, invisible, alongside ignores cover, and the one that is bad for charging from Pyromancy.
How many points are them 5 librarians?
Well, I run my Terminator Librarian to 125 points. So 5 of them.
Terminator Storm Shield.
But that is level 2 Terminator Storm Shield. You could probably drop the Storm Shields because you don't need them.
1160 points, right? You got 90 points to play with upgrades. You could quite easily give them a couple of extra weapons, right? Attach them to this.
I don't know what you're getting these weapons from.
Zombies.
Can't take them if you've got a Storm Shield.
All right. How much is a Stormwing?
420 base. That's 1,500 points.
1580.
Yeah, I'm saying that's over 1,500 points. So if you upgrade,
5 librarians attached to that with a Stormwing.
if you upgrade the Stormwing to have actually decent weapons, and then take a suppression force just because you need something cheap. That's 1,750.
That's nasty.
If you want to make it even more fun, drop the suppression force up it to 2,000 and take the first company task force. Even more Vanguard veterans and shit.
Yeah. Because then obviously all the powers from the librarians you can pass off onto the other ones that are flanking you and charging forward whilst these guys hold the centre and like move as if you can.
Yeah, because you've got that many in the middle with all your psychic powers in it. You've then got 2 units of Vanguard veterans up each side, and then a unit of tactical terminators in your Stormraven.
That's very nice.
And here's the thing: you don't even need to put them in the Stormraven. You know that White Scar comes stock with a teleport homer.
Yep.
Holy shit! What have we done? Oh, we just broke the game.
Yeah, that is.
Suddenly, Eldar don't seem so bad. Yes, Liam, I just said Eldar aren't so bad anymore. So sue me. I just know he's sitting there wolfing his head off.
That is going to be very, very nasty indeed. Yeah. Right. Anything else you can think of I want to add?
I'm scared of that unit.
Even though you said they were seriously outstripped by the Tyranid units.
Well, I'm scared of the 2,000 points version. I'm not so really scared of the 550 points version.
Yeah. Hang on, David. I don't think it's as broke as Josh thinks it is.
Well, it's probably not against other things that will cost 2,000 points, but I mean, you know, that will get you 4 units of jump pack Jazz Hand Vanguard veterans, 2 decent gunships and 1 better gunship, a colossal unit of about 20 dudes in the middle of the board who just will not move.
David says it's very hard to hurt, but its damage output is much lower than Grav Sense. And I do agree.
Of course, its damage output's lower than Grav Sense, but damage output on anything that's not Eldar is lower than Grav Sense.
I think it's going to annihilate anything that goes near it, but it's not something you would necessarily use as a kill team. I mean, smaller squads, yes, it will probably make mincemeat, or your standard tactical marines and stuff like that.
You know that tactical supremacy card control the central 24-inch bubble. Spread that unit out to maximum coherency. Your footprint will be 24 inches across.
I'm wondering why you could do that.
There's no reason why you couldn't. Make them all into a circle. Plonk your flyers in the middle. Your opponent's got no way of actually getting there. And then you've still got all your first company task force just sitting around doing their job elsewhere.
How would you work out the circumference of a circle again?
3.14 times the distance across. It's pi d.
Times pi.
Yeah.
A total of 75 inches you'd have to cover to go all the way around.
Well, how many units is in that? How many dudes are in that unit?
You need 38 models to complete the circle.
How many have we got in the kill team?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, plus 5 librarians.
Okay, so that's... But bear in mind, that is 30-odd points. We're not factoring into account the size of the bases here.
Right.
I don't think that there's a reason we can't do it that way. Because the bike base itself is 3 inches long. All the Terminator bases are 2 inches across.
The normal Marines are 32 mil.
Which is an inch and a bit.
Hang on, so we've got 75.4 inches.
Is what we need to cover.
Yes.
Bike base is easily 3 inches long.
Right, give us 2 seconds. We'll work this out. We're going to have 6 Terminators.
We'll have 6 Terminators, a bike.
Wait there. Hang on. Was it 75.4 inches, I said?
75.4, yeah.
Can't measure. There it is. I'm trying to work out the best way to do it. So, let's just do it this way. 75 inches is 195 centimeters, which is 1,950 millimeters.
Of course, yeah.
So 1,950 millimeters minus, you've got 6 Terminators at 40 mil each, which is 120, 240 mil.
Uh-huh.
You've then got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on 32 mil. What's 9 times 32?
9 times 32.
288. Minus 288 leaves you at 1,422 millimeters. Bike base
at least 3 inches long.
It's a 90 by 52 that it's on. So minus another 90 is 1,322. And then 2-inch coherency.
Between each of them.
If we say that is 50 mil, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hang on, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16. So you've got 16 gaps of 50 mil, which is 500, 750, 810.
800, yeah.
Minus 810. You've still got 52 centimeters.
No, 5.2 centimeters.
522 millimeters.
So you would need to divert one of your flank units to do that. Not that it really matters, considering you could take up most of that and then just position your flyers to take up the slack. Actually, no, it wouldn't matter, considering that each one of these dudes has got a 1-inch bubble around him that no model can go through.
So you could actually make the circle tighter.
Yeah, you can make the circle tighter, exactly. But to calculate that, you would need to work out.
You do it at 22. Do the diameter of the circle at 22.
Yeah, so they have the 22 inches inside, then their own width, then their buffer, then the flyers to take up the middle section. So yeah, you can easily do that.
You've actually chopped off 6 inches by doing that. So that takes it down to 1,750 millimeters.
And we've got 810 purely and simply in coherency, so you can't do this.
75, I said 190.
I think we've derailed this slightly, by the way.
Yes.
Not that it really matters, but...
So I actually want to work this out. So 69 inches minus 1755. 95, 522 minus 195. So it leaves a gap of 327 millimeters, which is David says the feasibility of this is a bit hard to pull out in one game. One charge messes everything up. It does, because essentially then obviously piling movers are going to drag it way out.
Yeah, but since when has logistics ever mattered? I mean, we've just planned out a game that's relying completely on getting every psychic power ever and all the massive combinations, which are all dice-based.
The probability of that's never going to happen.
But... Oh, hell no. But it's a nice theory.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the thought of it is there. Anyway, do you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm certainly happy to wrap that up after I figured out that one unit can take up the entire frigging board, but whatever. go crew conga line.
Right. Thank you very much for everybody that's been paying attention. Thanks for everybody that was inboxing us, and Josh as well, with questions and advice as we go along. What are your thoughts on each of the formations? What characters would you add? how would you get decent combos off? Like I said, getting the Venthrops or the Manthrops invisible due to telepathy on the Genestealers, adding characters such as Drago into Kill Team Cassius. You know, how would you build each of these? How would you integrate these into your forces of the Imperium and your forces of the Tyranids? So, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, please leave all that in the comments. Thank you to Josh.
Right, no problem. Happy to be here.
Thanks, like I said, to everybody for all the advice that they've given in all the questions via inbox. Please leave your comments below, and hopefully we should see these on the table very soon in both armies of the Imperium and Tyranid forces. So, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Indeed. Peace out, guys.